Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixion live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us. I started yesterday by talking about the blessing that I had with my family to go on vacation to the Cayman Islands. And I was commenting about, I got a shiner while I was there. And I didn't tell anybody how I got it. And I said to people that, hey, be creative. Guess. If you can guess how I got this, and I'm not going to tell you unless you guess correctly, we will give away for free our Understanding the Bible series. So if you want it, take a guess. I will tell you this. We had some great guests. Some people were very funny. No, I did not get into a bar fight with a Nigerian crime drug lord in the Cayman Islands. That is not what happened. However, if you could come up with something else clever, we'll entertain it. Love it. All right. So to the real stuff. I think it's fun. It's just funny. I mean, I got a shiner. I haven't had a shiner, I don't think, since I was a little kid. And like I said, it was not a bar fight with a Nigerian drug lord. However, see what you come up with.
Did you meet a Nigerian
I did not even meet a Nigerian drug lord. I don't even know where that came from. It just came out. Anyways, we clearly have problems. But in 2025, we're going to get our problems straight because we are focusing on marriage and family life. We are going to do our very best. Both of us, Greg and I, are very blessed, beautiful, strong, solid marriages to beautiful, strong, solid women with beautiful, strong, solid children. We've been very blessed. Part of that is just gifts from God. Part of that, however, is that we have spent an inordinate amount of time and have been completely dedicated and focused on doing what God has guided us to do as husbands, fathers, and parents and all of that stuff so that we can share it with you. Like the point I really want to lead to, as we started with yesterday, is that it's important as parents that you teach your children. You cannot just hope that they become amazing human beings. If you are amazing, it's probably because you had an army of people teaching and instructing you. Do the same for your children. And further, the caveat to that, don't just teach them things of the world. Those things matter. It's important. But teach them things of God. Now listen, we're going to read some more from Psalm 78. I'm going to read a couple of verses, 5, 6, 7, 8. Greg's going to throw some of the most important ones out there for you to watch. But before I do this, let me tell you. While we were in the Cayman Islands, it was the hotel we were at was family friendly. So there were lots of kids. And, they were playing in the sand and making sand castles and jumping in the sea and doing all that fun stuff with their parents. Some of the children, however, were, and forgive me, I don't want to sound awful, but they were brats. I mean, those kids, right, are screaming, I want. Or those kids who are just, you know what I'm talking about. You all know what I'm talking about. Those kids that you come across and you encounter and you're like, why are their parents not doing anything, right? Like we all know that. We may have even been that parent at some point. Sometimes it's hard, and I understand that. I raised 2 children myself, but it can never be one of those things where you watch those parentals do nothing to instruct and teach their kid, but let them do whatever they want to do. This, beloved warrior saints, is totally dangerous and a mistake if you do it. If you do it, you are not giving your children the God instruction that you are supposed to give them. Listen to Psalm 78. All right. Psalm 78, verse 5, I'm going to read and then he'll throw up some more. He, meaning God, established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers to teach our children, right? So God's instruction is, you better give this to your kids. I'm not asking, says the Lord. Give them the instruction, teach them my commandments. And then here we go, verse 6. That the next generation might know them, and children yet unborn, and arise and tell them to their children. God is commanding that we teach our kids so that they are now in the pipeline to pass that on to their kids, which we hear in verse 7. So that they should set their hope in God, not in the world, but they set their hope in God, and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. And here's the kicker. And that they should not be like their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, right, who didn't trust and rely in the works of the Lord. What the psalmist is saying is that while they were on the Exodus, God commanded through Moses, teach your children, because the previous generation were all sinful and rebellious. They worshiped other gods. They did not trust in the Lord himself. They trusted in the world, whether it be Pharaoh in Egypt, or other nations or other deities, the Baalim or whatever you want to talk about. They didn't trust their God. And they were a stubborn and rebellious generation, and God kicked them out of the promised land when they got there. don't you and I do the same thing. We cannot make the same mistakes. What God is saying in Psalm 78 is, look, it is your duty as parents, as teachers of the next generation, to instruct them definitely in great wisdom and insight, but most importantly, in the law and the commandments of God. Because these are the things that put our hope, put our trust in God, and He is the only one who offers the blessings and the fulfillment of all that hope and all of those blessings. How can you expect your children to know it if you don't give it to them? You cannot just hope. And don't do another thing that I see so many parents do. It's a mistake. We'll just bring them to church and let Sunday school do it. No! You should bring them to church and let them go to Sunday school. Absolutely. Bring them to me, let them hang out with me. But I'm not their great teacher. Sunday school is not their great teacher. You are their great teachers. We supplement. And yes, we are, better at it than you because we study it and we're trained in it. I understand that. But it is your duty to raise your children. Nobody else, including the priest, including the church. The parents were given these kids by God to raise them, to walk in the newness of life. It's your duty and your responsibility. You want good kids? You got to raise them right. And you have to be deliberate, intentional. You have to put in that effort. You can't just hope. It doesn't just happen. Do you understand? You've got to put in the work to give them the right things, the right teachings of the gospel. Now, here's the key. We will help you do that because we've got all kinds, forgive me, it's going to sound arrogant, but we're good at it, right? We've got evidence. Our children are amazing human beings, probably mostly because of their mothers, but they're amazing nonetheless. And we give our parts, right? We do what we can do, and it works because we have decided that everything we do and every word we speak and every teaching we give is reference to the gospel of Jesus Christ, to God Himself and His word and His commandments. And the good news is it works. We've got a huge repertoire of teachings. We put those teachings out in 2 of our programs. We call them Understanding the Bible. We call it our 6-part battle plan. All of that stuff's on our website. You know, it's if you want to do your duty, like Psalm 78 is saying, is to teach the next generation, but you kind of get confused, like, well, I don't know what to say. What does God say? I don't always get it. We'll help you. That's what we're here for. That's what look, it's a matter of life and death, beautiful people. You can't blow this off. We will help you. All you have to do is subscribe and then watch the videos we have up there. This stuff it really is good. And I say that not to sound boastful or, ooh, look at us, but it is. We work hard at it. We put in a lot of effort. God has blessed it. It's there for you if you are ready and willing to get yourself on that right course. My suggestion is 2025. We're in the first full week of 2025. Don't waste the opportunity, right? I know that many of us have said, I'm going to end here, but set our New Year's resolutions. You know this, right? We've talked about it before. Most New Year's resolutions end by like the 12th day of January because we get come up across a brick wall and we don't want to do it anymore, right? Don't do that. Let your New Year's resolution to diet and get exercise and do all that stuff, get it. Go get some. But more importantly, let 2025 be the year that you, Warrior Saints, subscribe to Understand the Bible so you get it, you got it, and you teach it. If you do this, the next generation will be those whom the Lord has blessed. Love you. We will be back tomorrow. And until then, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.